Now, a few days ago, I put out a tweet asking for people to send me their drafts. And in this video, I'm going to rate them. First up then, we've got a draft from Ollie Paul, who I believe works quite closely or for Fantasy Football Hub. So thank you very much, Ollie, for sending in your draft. He's gone for Harry Kane, Mbappe and Kai Havertz up top. Jude Bellingham, Szoboszlai and Sherin in midfield. Tar, Mittelstadt, DeMarco, Konoplia and Pickford. Costa of Portugal, Kvaratskhelia of Georgia, Bruno Fernandes and Dalot on the bench. Definitely don't mind this team. And I got to say before I critique it, mate, I think if you went into the tournament with this team, you'd be absolutely fine. In my mind, though, I would probably swap out Kai Havertz for one of the big hitters. I think having Kane, Mbappe and Ronaldo/Lukaku is probably the best way to go, just because Ronaldo and Lukaku are so good goal scoring wise. They're both on penalties, which you can't say for Kai Havertz. So I think I just prefer those guys. Kai Havertz doesn't do badly for Germany, to be fair. I'm not too sure that the England midfielders are worth it. Yes, they're very good, but I think they're quite expensive in this game. And you can get midfielders for cheaper that I think will kind of match their scores, particularly the ones that are likely on pens and really good for ball recoveries. I would consider getting Gundogan in for Bellingham and potentially allowing you to upgrade Havertz to Lukaku. That's probably where I'd go with that. Looking at your defence, I think Tar, Mittelstadt, DeMarco and Konoplia are absolutely fantastic. I can't really critique those starting four. I would say that Dalot, there's just a little bit of doubt around his minutes and exactly how Portugal's set up defensively. And I think there are less risky defenders that you could go for. Someone like Wout Faes for Belgium, for example. Just 4 million saves you a lot of cash and you can pretty much guarantee he's going to play. Belgium have some really decent clean sheet odds. Kvaratskhelia, I think, is a really nice differential. And also, dropping Dalot to a cheaper defender might allow you to upgrade Sherin to a more attractive midfielder. Diogo Costa and Pickford, I think, is absolutely fine. Just maybe spending a little bit too much on your goalkeepers. Maybe a 4.5 like Verbruggen, or you clearly back the Ukraine defence, so Lunin potentially, alongside a 4 million goalkeeper would be my preferred way of playing it. Because I just wouldn't want to spend 2 million on two goalkeepers. It's just my opinion. So yeah, but overall, mate, this team is just fine. And I'm going to do, for all of these teams, I'm going to do a rating on the second slide. Ollie, your team, in my mind, gets an 8.5. Like I said, if you start the tournament with this team, I think you'll be absolutely fine. And ultimately, it's just my opinion. Hopefully, though, those comments help you. Okay, then next up, we've got Freddie Barnes, J1. Immediately, I'm looking at that front three, and I really like it. Lukaku, sorry, not Ronaldo. Kane and Mbappe, I think is great. Bukayo Saka, Gundogan, Jorginho as the starting midfielders. He's got Fernandes and Çalhanoğlu on the bench. I really like that. Like I said, potentially considering downgrading Saka to someone a little bit cheaper could work. I'm completely unsure as to how England are going to line up in that first game. I think it's likely Foden off the left, Bellingham in the middle, Bukayo Saka on the right. I can't be 100% sure. So, yeah, just a little bit of doubt around those England mids. And I think it might be worth going for someone a bit cheaper. Jorginho is a good option. It'll be really good for ball recoveries. Although I'm not 100% sure if he's going to be on penalties anymore. I think it might be Chiesa. So, just one thing to think about. Another double up on German defence, which I really like. Tar and Mittelstadt, 4.5 and 4 million, I think are great options. Theo Hernandez, really like him. Good from an attacking perspective. And yeah, France should keep some clean sheets with the quality of players they've got. DeMarco, with the first fixture in mind, I think is going to do great. Pickford and Sels in goal. Sels obviously has been revealed to not be the Belgian first choice goalkeeper anymore. But fear no more. There are a couple other 4 million goalkeepers you can go for. I believe the starting Austrian goalkeeper is 4 million at the moment. And Moldovan, the Romanian goalkeeper, who likely is first choice, is also 4 million. So I think pairing them up with Pickford will do just fine. And then the bench, I really like. Just same comment about Dalot, really. Just not 100% sure he's going to start every game. And for that reason, I think you should probably go for someone else. This team, though, on the whole, I really like. And he's probably submitted it before we found out that Sels is not the Belgian first choice keeper. So I can't take any points off for that, really. Only Dalot, really, is the player I would look to really change. I think Saka would be fine. I know I made the comment about England midfielders, but I can't say that Saka's a bad option, right? So I'm going to give this a 9.5. Pretty much, apart from Dalot and Sels, absolutely perfect in my mind. Okay, then up next, YC Yang 86, Lukaku, Kane and Mbappe up top. Don't need to speak any more about them. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Gundogan, Szoboszlai, Pellegrini, Bruno Fernandes and Çalhanoğlu. Really nice midfield. Just not 100% sure about Pellegrini. Maybe YC Yang's got him in as a bit of a differential. If you know, you really like him and you want him to be differential, then absolutely fine. I do think someone on penalties, like, I don't know, Shaqiri, Ericsson, bit cheaper as well. Maybe Xhaka. I think Xhaka will have a good tournament and he's really good for ball recoveries. Rodri as well. I think those kind of players will save you a bit of cash and could potentially be better options. But the rest of them I really like. Theo Hernandez, Tar, Mittelstadt, DeMarco, Valfas, a fantastic defence. And Moldovan and Costa in goal, I think is great as well. Maybe if you downgrade Pellegrini, you might be able to get Cancelo in your defence. But other than that, mate, it's a decent team. I'll give this a 9. I just don't like Pellegrini myself. But again, mate, you know, the whole idea of the game is to play it your way, right? So if you disagree with my comments about him, see him as a good differential and think he's going to do well, feel free to ignore me and pick him. You know what? I'm not an expert. I don't know the predetermined outcomes or anything like that. So if you really fancy him, then absolutely go for it. For that reason, I think I have to give this a 9. A really good draft, mate, and I think it will do you just fine. We got Euro Fantasy 202 up next. Lukaku, Kane, and Mbappe up front. Fantastic. Wirtz. So Boslai, Jorginho midfield, really like that. Mailer, an absolute attacking dynamo for Denmark, and I think they've got a good chance of a couple of clean sheets in their openers. Mittelstadt, DeMarco, Dumfries, who I still think will start right wing back for Netherlands. Lunin in goal. Sels, we all spoke about Sels on the previous draft. Not the starting Belgian goalkeeper, but there are other 4 million options you can go for. I'm sure you're aware who they are already, but the Austrian keeper and Moldovan, both 4 million, I think will do you just fine. Bruno Fernandes, Theo Hernandez, and Çalhanoğlu on the bench. Mate, I really like this team. The couple of comments I would make, definitely not about the bench players. I'd say, I just think Gundogan is better than Wirtz. He's a bit cheaper, and he's on penalties, and he gets ball recoveries. So for that reason, I think he's just a little bit better than Wirtz. In Dumfries, whilst I do feel like he will start at right wing back, with Frimpong being in the mix as well, I just think it's a little risky, and there's a chance that Frimpong plays there instead. So maybe going for someone else who's a little bit less risky. But other than that, mate, fantastic team. Have to give this a 9.5. I think Wirtz will be fine and Dumfries probably be fine as well. Those are the couple of changes I'd make. But ultimately, I think this team will do you just fine. Without Sales, of course. Change the goalkeeper, but I'm sure you're aware of that already. One more draft. Kane and Mbappe up front. Ronaldo as well. I can see there. Jorginho, McTominay, Rodri, Xhaka, Mittelstadt, DeMarco, Van Dijk, Grimaldo, Pickford, Lunin, Fass, and Bruno Fernandes. I gotta say, mate, I don't have a comment about this team. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Really like the front three. Jorginho, I think it'd be just fine. He probably won't be, you know, scoring the most points for you, but only 5 million. You can't really ask for much more. But McTominay, I really like him. I think he could do well this tournament, and I think you stuck him in there as a bit of a differential, which I really like. Rodri and Xhaka, I really like the pair of them. Rodri likely on pens for Spain. Both of them are absolutely amazing for ball recoveries. And the good thing about ball recoveries is that they're pretty much guaranteed to happen every game. You know, Rodri and Xhaka, I think, during qualifying were averaging 7 to 8 ball recoveries per game, which is potentially worth 4 points per game in this format, right? Which is basically more. It's more than an assist, right? So just bear that in mind. I really like the pair of them, and I think they've got a good chance of scoring from outside the box as well, which is worth extra points. Mittelstadt, you know, I don't mind that you don't have another German player in there. I think him is just fine as a captain on the opening day. I think he also is really good from an attacking and ball recovery perspective as well. So he's got plenty of ways of getting points that isn't just keeping clean sheets. The defence is great. Van Dijk on pens for Netherlands. Grimaldo, a little bit of doubt just around the Spain defence. I'm not too sure how strong they will be. Just not the Spain of old. Pickford and Lunin. One thing I could say, you could be spending $1 million less on your 2 goalkeepers and potentially upgrading elsewhere. Just a comment. I mean, like most of these teams, I think it will do you just fine. In Sharon Schenk, I'm going to give this a 9.5. Like I said, a couple of comments here and there about it, but ultimately, if you went into the tournament with this team, I think you did great. All right, and that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you to everyone who sent me their drafts. I really appreciate it. You've basically made the video by doing that, to be honest. I've just spoken about them. If yours didn't make it, what I tried to do is pick drafts that basically cover all of the replies that I had. So if yours didn't make it, there's probably a team in here that's either absolutely identical or like 1 or 2 players away. And I think, to be honest, I've covered pretty much all of the drafts just in the comments I've made. So apologies if you didn't make it, but I tried to be sensible with the ones that I did pick. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave me a like rating. Let me know in the comments what you think of some of those drafts and my comments about them. And yeah, Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.